Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the first day of July, just here in the United States, a few days away from celebrating July the 4th, our independence, or what we think is our independence. Nevertheless, let's get to it here on this first day of July 2024, doing tarot. Tarot is the science of potential. I know a lot of people look at tarot and astrology as boogie, 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 boogie. These are ignorant people. Not dumb, ignorant. Tarot, and I've done this for over 20 years, is the science of potential. You take a look at the 5 cards on the screen. By the way, that's all you're going to see. No motion, no movement, no change. I want you to look at the 5 cards, close your eyes, and get into a meditative state. Because that's what manifesting is all about. It's creating pictures in your mind, not getting the damn pictures off a screen, smartphone, television, desktop, laptop. We get fed crappy information all the time. We're lied to all the time. The information we get to see is censored all the time. So you cannot trust the outside because it's only meant to confuse you, to hide the truth from you, to keep the truth from you, keep you from thinking. In fact, I say this all the time, but I do it because it's important. John D. Rockefeller, the man who was, in 1900, probably the richest man in the world, individually, still think the Rothschilds and maybe a couple of other families were much, much richer. But for an individual human being, Rockefeller was the king. He's the one that set up Big Pharma. He is the one that set up the oil and gas fiasco that we have. He is the one that set up the education system that we have and so many more things. And he said, I designed the education system that we now have, we now live with, because he was looking for people who didn't think. He wanted workers, not thinkers. He said so, his words. So what this is a study in you developing your interlanguage. Okay? Your communication with yourself. That's what manifesting is all about. You create the pictures, you create the scenarios, you create the potential. By the way, just as a kind of an addendum here, astrology is the science of cycles. Okay? Neither tarot nor astrology predicts well. Tarot, much less well. And I've done it, like I said, for 20 years. I've never met anybody who really could predict much of anything with tarot. It's not meant for that. It's meant to talk about energy potential. Astrology is cycles. So if you know the cycles, there's nothing demonic or satanic about it. We know when the next full moon is going to be. We know that this week it's going to be the 4th of July in America. We've known that since the beginning of the year. What is that, satanic, special, knowledge? No, it's knowing cycles. Every year, July the 4th, boom. Every 29 years, you get a Saturn return. Every 84 years, you get a Uranus return. And so on and so forth. We know the cycles. It's if you understand the cycles and can put the parts together properly, which we can't do. It's just too complicated. But you can at least get a general idea. So astrology is the knowledge of cycles. Tarot is the knowledge of potential. The energy treatment for today is here on the screen. It's flexible. The numbers up in the right-hand corner are 1 and 9. 1 means beginning, 9 means endings, and the 1 and 9 together equal 10, which is still, get rid of the 0, 1. So you are being given an opportunity to restart. But there's a little trick to this restarting. You got to be flexible. Now, being flexible does not mean going along to get along. That's what we've done up to this point. That's bullshit. Well, I got to agree with you because I want to get along with you. I don't care what you think. I am entitled to what I think. You are entitled to what you think. And in the process, we give some level of respect to one another. Just as a human dignity thing. That's all. I don't have to convince you. You don't have to convince me. The point is that you need to be spiritually flexible within yourself. Think of it as spiritual yoga. Okay? The meme for today says it all. Don't worry about getting old. Worry about thinking old. And isn't that what's going on in Washington these days, huh? Getting old, we spend too much time thinking about people who are in their 70s and 80s. The problem is that they think old. I know people in their 20s who already are old people because they don't know how to think. More and more of them every day because that's the way the system is arranged. You need to be flexible. So don't worry about getting old, worry about thinking old. Let's get to that. Talk about speaking of thinking old. All the way to the left is the Three of Swords. Swords are thoughts, ideas. Many times from other people, we take them as our own and we believe them and we sink everything we have into them. Three of Swords talks about grief, heartache, sorrows, being lied to. Tough. So you're going through some sort of heartache. The last few years has been a heartache for me. I'm an old guy. Everything that I was raised on, I have found out to be a lie. Everything. I didn't miss anything. When I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, there was shit going on underneath the surface nobody knew about. We know about it today, and it ain't good. We know about all the plans. 1933, the Nazis and the Zionists getting together, making up a plan for Jews to escape Germany before the war started. We know about Operation Paperclip, where our government took about 60,000 German scientists, kept them from being killed or imprisoned so that we could put them into our government. And man, are we paying the price. All kinds of things that have gone on. Your educational system was formed by a billionaire who didn't give a damn about you, still doesn't. Our big pharma, started by the same person. Everything we have learned is a lie. For somebody my age, man, that's a kick in the balls. Whoa. Other people are feeling it in other ways. But the point of the matter is the Three of Swords says you are now fully aware of the fact that you've been lied to. Whether you do anything or not, well, that's the potential of tarot, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Next card over is the Ace of Cups in reverse. In reverse means that you are thinking about it, you're contemplating. You're not doing anything yet, but basically what we're talking about is self-love, emotional strength, creativity, realizing your true value. You ask people today, are you, how would you rate yourself? And especially women, I'm a 10. Bullshit. Not even close. 10 is perfection on a scale of 0 to 10. You're not even close. But we lie to ourselves. Why? Because the Three of Swords. We know we've been lied to, and we don't love ourselves enough to be able to be honest with ourselves. Because to do that, to really look in the mirror, so to speak, you got to love yourself. You got to appreciate yourself. If you're a 3 or 4 like I am, okay, that's where I start. I might not get any better, but at least I know where my base is, and I can work and build from there, and I do it every day as best I can. But as I'm an old man, not much improvement. However, I don't deteriorate as quickly either. So the point of the matter is, don't worry about getting old, worry about thinking old. And that's really the deal. And the way that you do that is by loving and appreciating yourself. Not in a narcissistic way, because narcissism means the person hates themselves and they got to tear everybody else around them down. They don't know how to elevate themselves, so they'll tear you down. Next card over is the Ace of Pentacles. Good set of values, rock solid. And we need that now more than ever. Okay, we need practicality. We need, it's this idea of what would you need if we completely changed the world? If there was this huge atomic war or volcanic eruption or a meteor hitting the planet, what would we need to live? That's the stuff you build your life off of. Learning how to do computer stuff doesn't mean shit. Not going to put food on the table. In fact, it's not even putting food on the table for most of us right now. But when you're in that kind of a situation, what's basic to survival? Those are the pentacles. Those are the real values, and that's what the Ace is all about. So you're deciding I've been lied to, I have to love myself, and the reason and how you do that is you make sure you have a good set of values. Once you get those values, the Four of Pentacles say, hang on to them. Do not let them go. Don't go with the flow. Don't go with the flow. Realize that you have every right to be here. It doesn't mean that you have to demand anything from anybody else other than yourself. And guess who we don't demand stuff from? Ourselves. We lie to ourselves all the time. That's done. Maybe that Three of Swords is us lying to us. That's the tarot reading for today. A little spiritual yoga, a little flexibility. Tomorrow back with more tarot as we hit the first day of July. Between now and the next time you and I get together and talk tarot, peace and blessings.